Hi everyone, we are moving into class 2 of module 5, and in this class we are going to discuss distribution of load between units within a plant neglecting the losses, or we can also call this one as economic dispatch neglecting the transmission losses. Okay, so in this problem, this is an economic load dispatch problem, and it is defined as minimum Ft is equal to sigma n equal to 1 to n Fn subject to the constraint PD is equal to sigma n equal to 1 to n Pn. This equation can also be represented as PD minus sigma n is equal to 1 to n Pn equal to 0. Okay. Now, what is meant by Ft? Ft is the total fuel input to the system. Okay, and what is meant by Fn? Fn is the fuel input to the nth generator or nth unit. Now, what is PD? PD is the total load demand and Pn is the generation of the nth unit. So, we can describe this problem like what is the minimum fuel required, fuel input to the system, okay, subject to the condition that the generation, that is a total generation, should meet the load demand. As we are neglecting the losses, there is no point of losses here. So, we have to minimize the fuel input to the system so that the generation will be meeting the load demand. Okay, so that is the minimization problem which we have to solve. Now, in mathematical approach, we can say the minimization problem is normally solved using a Lagrangian function. So, this Lagrangian function makes use of this Lagrangian multiplier, and this is mainly used for finding solutions for this constraint optimization problems. Okay, and we can summarize generally the equation can be summarized as to find the stationary points of f of x. Okay, if we have to find the stationary points of f of x such that it will be inside the constraint g of x equal to 0, then we have to form a Lagrangian function L of x comma lambda, which is equal to f of x minus g lambda g of x. Okay, where in this case we are considering this f of x is the our minimum fuel, that is Ft. So, instead of this one f of x we will be having Ft minus lambda into what is g of x? G of x is that constraint equal to 0. So, the constraint which is equal to 0, that is Pd minus sigma n equal to 1 to n Pn. So, that is our constraint. So, we can represent it as Pd minus sigma n equal to 1 to n Pn. That is our Lagrangian function. So, this becomes our Lagrangian function, and it is given by the equation number 2. Okay, you can see equation number 2, f is equal to Ft plus lambda into Pd minus sigma n equal to 1 to n Pn. So, this is actually a mathematical approach to find a solution for the optimization problem. Okay, where a lambda is the Lagrangian multiplier. Now, this equation 2 we are going to differentiate with respect to Pn, that is the generation of the nth unit. So, we can write the equation as dou Fn by dou Pn is equal to dou Ft by dou Pn plus lambda into 0 minus 1. Why it is 0 is dou Pd by dou Pn means the load demand and the nth generation unit, it is not having any, they are independent variables. So, the value will be 0 while differentiating, whereas when Pn is being differentiated it will be equal to 1. And what is the purpose of taking this one? So, normally for finding the solution for a minimization or maximization problem, we can equate the derivative to 0. So, here we are equating the derivative to 0. Dou f by dou Pn is equal to dou Ft by dou Pn is equal to lambda into 0 minus 1 equal to 0. So, while substituting this equation, you will be obtaining as dou Ft by dou Pn minus lambda is equal to 0. Or we can also say dou Ft by dou Pn is equal to lambda. Now, we know that the total fuel input to the system Ft will be equal to F1 plus F2 plus etc. up to Fn. Okay, and we are again taking the partial derivative of each of them with respect to the nth generation, the generation of the nth unit. So, dou Ft by dou Pn is equal to dou F1 by dou Pn plus dou F2 by dou Pn plus etc. up to dou Fn by dou Pn. So, here you can see that the nth generation, the generation of the nth unit does not depend upon the fuel input of the first unit or second unit like that. It only depends upon the fuel input of the nth generator. So we can write dou ft by dou pn is already equal to lambda, okay, is equal to 0 plus etc. dou fn by dou pn. From that we obtain two values, that is dou ft by dou pn is already equal to lambda. Now dou fn by dou pn is also equal to lambda. If we are putting the values for n as 1, 2, 3 etc., we will be obtaining the condition for the optimum operation as dou f1 by dou p1 is equal to dou f2 by dou p2 is equal to dou fn by dou pn is equal to lambda. So this is our optimization condition for the optimal operation of the n generator units. What does it mean? It means that the increment, what is dou fn by dou pn? It is the incremental production cost of the nth plant in rupees per megawatt hour. Okay, so if it is dou fn, this curve we have already drawn in the studied in the introduction part. The incremental production cost should be given to a plant such that they are equally loaded, equal incremental production should be there. That is mentioned as equation number 5. Okay, now this incremental production cost, which we have already studied in the curve, which we have already studied in the introduction part. This is the incremental fuel cost. It is in rupees. So this incremental cost can be represented as dou f by dou p. Okay, incremental fuel cost. And this one can be represented as y. Okay, and the slope of this curve can be represented as m, and this x value is the p value. Now using this we can represent the equation for y as mx plus c. Now this is going to be explained here. So the incremental production cost of a given plant over a limited range can be expressed as y equal to mx plus c. Okay, so where m is the slope, fnn is the slope of the incremental production curve, pn is the x value, okay, fn is the y intercept. Now this equation, fifth equation, means that the machines should be so loaded that the incremental cost of production of each machine is same. The incremental cost of production of every machine should be same. That is our optimization solution condition. Okay. Now here we are taken here the active power as the constraint. Now if any generator is violating any of the constraint, minimum constraint or maximum constraint, then what we have to do is we have to load the generator such that which limit is being violated, that is the value of production. For example, if it is violating Pn maximum, then that generator should be only loaded till Pn maximum. But and the remaining load, that is the rest of the load, should be distributed to the other generators in an equal incremental cost of production way. That is dou f by dou pn, dou fn by dou pn should be same for all other generators, okay, other than the generator which has violated the constraint. Okay, now the economic operating schedule is prepared by, now we are going to prepare an economic operating schedule which should be which generators should be operated in and in which order. Okay, it is prepared by simultaneous solution of these two equations, that is subject to, that is the constraint, and the second one is dou f. By finding a simultaneous solution for these two, we will be obtaining the operating schedule. So how can we make a solution for this? And this is an iterative method. I'll be just explaining you the flow chart. It is very easy to understand. You can go through the steps when you are studying the topic. Okay, we are starting with by reading the values of fnn, fn, pd and epsilon, where fnn is the slope of the incremental production curve, fn is the y-intercept, and the pd is the total load demand. Epsilon is a very small value for finding whether it is converging or not. Okay, so the next one is we are going to assume a suitable value for lambda, and the value of lambda should be selected such that there is a condition given. We have to assume a suitable value of lambda such that lambda is greater than the largest intercept of the incremental cost characteristics of various generators. Incremental cost characteristics, as we already studied, it is like this. This is dou f by dou p, and here is the the demand. So lambda should be selected such that this is for one generator unit. there will be several generator units like this. 1, 2, 3. Similarly, several generator units will be there inside a plant. So, which is the largest y-intercept of the incremental production curve? We have to select the lambda value greater than the largest intercept. Okay. Now, what we have to do is assume the suitable value of lambda and then set n is equal to 1. That is, we are considering the first generating unit. And for the first generating unit, we have to find what is the generation Pn is equal to lambda minus Fn by Fnn. This is obtained from equation number 6. You can solve the value for Pn. Now we have to check whether Pn is violating the limit or not. If it is greater than Pn maximum, then it means it is violating. So we have to set the value as Pn maximum. Okay, if it is not violating, we can check the lowest limit. Pn is less than Pn minimum. If it is okay, if it is violating Pn minimum, then we have to set the value as Pn minimum. If it is not violating and if it is within the range, then we can set n value as n plus 1. That is, we are going for the next bus. Now we are checking whether if all the buses have been completed, if all the values of the generations have been completed. If not, we have to find the value of the next generation and similarly complete the value, find the generation of all the buses. Now calculate delta P such that sigma Pn minus Pd, we have to find what is delta Pd. So if delta Pd is less than the convergence, then we can stop. Yes, if it is yes, then we can stop the process, that is print the generation and calculate the cost for that generation end. But if it is not converging, if it is above a limit, then we have to check, we have to set another value for, we have to make an increment or decrement for lambda. If the value of sigma p is greater than Pd, then we have to decrement the value of lambda. Okay, and if it is greater than, if the generation is greater than, if the generation is greater than load demand, we have to decrement the lambda, and if the generation is less than the load demand, then you have to make an increment for the lambda value and then again set this one into for the first unit and similarly continue. So this is how we have to make a flowchart for the economic scheduling of the transmission loss. Hope you understood. Thank you very much for listening. Stay home, stay safe.